In this episode of the Kaicast, we're going to kind of talk about what it's like to build a podcast from the ground up, where I'm at now, what's going on, and we're going to kind of take an overview. So currently, I have just posted my 31st podcast episode. Now, that podcast episode just really proves I'm consistent and I wanted to stick with it. That's awesome. We have 356 streams and downloads in total, and we've had some opportunities of emails of people reaching out to us. Now, those opportunities I'm going to go over here in a second. Some are good, some they're opportunities. We didn't necessarily take up these opportunities. But we'll start with the first person that reached out to me. He was the CEO of some Nova Scotian. I don't really understand what he was. But he's like, hey, I want to get on the Kaicast. You love your takes about sports. We were emailing back and forth for a little bit, and what ended up messing everything up actually was the fact that our time difference was messed up. So we had a meeting set at 3 o'clock on a Monday. Um, 3 o'clock for me was like 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and for him it was 6 o'clock or 3 p.m. Pacific. I don't know. I think it's Pacific Standard Time, or Mountain Time. But that didn't end up happening, or that didn't end up, that conflict there. Uh, didn't end up going where I wanted it to go. Kind of emailed, did a little bit more research in the background of it, didn't really feel like this guy I felt like was trying to recruit me for some kind of like brand thing. It was like he was the CEO of some media startup. That was what I read at least on his LinkedIn and his other profiles. So that was kind of interesting. And I kind of wanted to be more flexible with what I do on my podcast. As you know, I'm very passionate about this. I work on this all the time. I literally spend probably more money than I should on starting a podcast, but it's definitely an interesting part. I want to have the freedom for myself to do what I want. Um, the next person who reached out to me was also kind of interesting, as this person also is from, I think they're called Beltway Media. And we were kind of emailing back and forth a little bit about talking about getting a guy on my podcast. And then it got really weird. I emailed him back. He emailed me back 2 days ago. Um, it just didn't really feel like it was like, how do I put this? It just feels a little like weird. It's this guy, they want to put this guy named Joshua on my podcast. Not saying that it's bad or anything or whatever, but I'm just like the vibe I'm getting. Um, this guy's like he wanted to talk about his Beltway Media project and practical communication and leaders and creativity, which sounds all good and well, but it felt like more he was trying to sell me on the Beltway Media company than really come on the podcast to talk on the podcast. I personally found the best way for me to start talking about things and the best way for me to have the freedom of who I want to have on the podcast, who talks to me, is have my fraternity brothers and my friends on the podcast. I've had Callum Bowman on the podcast. He's a great guy. I absolutely loved having him on. I have another podcast hopefully coming out soon with him and another buddy of mine, Trey. They're both great guys. Great talking to them. So look forward to that. Hopefully it comes out soon. Might take a little bit of editing. It was a really long podcast, really good podcast, really exciting podcast. But it's definitely just shows to like the difference of like what I want to do when I'm on the podcast, Like a lot of times you like my passion really is Pittsburgh sports. If you know me well, Chelsea soccer, those kind of things are the passion of what I like to talk about. And I felt like when I was like these people just wanted to kind of just sell me on their way of like media out like sort I don't I just it just wasn't really my thing, which is okay. That's fine. We all have different things. But I just wanted to come on and kind of just talk about like what it's like to start a podcast from the ground up a little bit. I think it'd be really interesting to hear like just part of my journey. Um, as I'm still smaller, I haven't even hit 500 streams and downloads yet, but we build. A lot of times when I was looking into it, I thought I was gonna jump right into it right away, and just kind of start. And I kind of want to use this podcast as like a progress report. So in the future, I can look and people can look on how we've built things up over time. Um, I started the podcast actually on a trip away. I was in what was it? I was in Hawaii actually, and I was sitting in my hotel room on a rainy day, and I'm like, man, I've been thinking about this for a while. I wanna start a podcast, and I finally ended up doing it. That night I sat in my the when it was raining, pouring, thunderstorming, whatever. I sat there, went on Amazon. I'm like, well, I need a headset. It was this headset I have on right now, and I'm gonna need a mic. And I've since purchased two mics. One I have that I'm using now, and another one that I use for interviews, um, just to kind of work on it. But the point is, I just kind of jumped into it. I didn't really do any research. I didn't do anything. I'm like, I want to do this. I'm going to do this. And that's what I did. And believe it or not, that wasn't the only thing that started at that point in time. The Kaicast actually broke down into multiple things, and that was kind of like a social media kind of just putting myself out there and seeing what happens. And there's a lot more to that than just I don't know, they kind of just building everything. Like there's levels. I remember my first reel I ever put out, I knew I had to put reels out. I knew that was gonna be part of it because I'd see podcast reels all the time. And believe it or not, I didn't start video. I'm gonna improve the video hopefully soon. I'm moving into a new house. I'm moving in back home too, get some different things tried out. I'm gonna try and do that. But um, when I started, it was all kind of just like jump into it right away, which is the kind of person I am. If you know me, you know I like to jump into things right away. But the thing that really was surprising was how easy I thought it was going to be. I thought I'd post a couple pictures, like a slideshow, and I'd talk about. I literally would do 5 second, 3 second pictures, clip the podcast from Audacity, which is great for when I was first doing podcasts. I would I would post it one a day, and I'm like, well, crap. We need to work on this. So I eventually started doing moving pictures, which I looked up, I researched it. Moving pictures were the way to go if I was going to do anything. And then I updated again, of course, and that was with the brain rot kind of clips with like Minecraft, with like Subway Surfers, stuff like that, with pictures on top of it to kind of give like 2 points of viewing, I guess. And then recently, I've started posting my video podcasts with different clips about different things. That's of course still in the works, so we're gonna definitely gonna continue to update that. Trying to do the split thing with like pictures on the bottom, me on top, or two people hopefully soon when I have that capability. Just to kind of make it new and refreshing and something different. Um, a lot of this is just the hardest part I found to doing all the podcasting and doing all this is not the drive to do it, it's the work that's actually behind it. So I probably spend about 20 hours a week working on podcast clips, videoing stuff like this, editing them, posting them, working on just everything. And the majority of that came from editing clips, clipping, and posting it. Um, so that was the majority of my time. And then now I've been doing a lot of research. I should be investing into more short form, more long form content for the podcast that I can expand on, things that really hit my niche, which I've been trying to do a lot, of course. I mean, you see my background. I got the Stanley Cup playoff thing back there from the game I went to, my Chelsea flag from when they came on the US tour, and of course, ammo from Pittsburgh Riverhounds. And then there's some other cool little trinkets around my room that I'll show you guys sometime before I move out. But of course, not many of people know this. Actually, so a lot of people I feel like would know this if they're listening to the podcast right now. I do have two other Instagram accounts that I routinely post on. So I actually started a podcast on one of them, but then I just realized that it didn't make sense to have two different podcasts. Not that I merged them. That podcast is still up. I don't really talk on it very much. I don't very. It's got 5 episodes. If you want to, it's called Kai Collects. You can go check it out. But it was like a different side of me that I really fell in love with. And if a lot of people who actually know me out there and have been around the podcast for a while, I personally love to collect. Collecting is like the heart of everything that I love. I collect literally all Star Wars, sports memorabilia, sports cards, everything. And what really brought me to that is when I was starting to work on the Kaicast, which is what this is, which I'm talking on. I really thought to myself, how can I also amplify other parts of me that I can put on social media that I think would be fun? So that Kai Collects became a card ripping thing where I rip different cards, and I've reviewed a Lego set on there before. There's a lot more different things to it, but I'm looking to expand that once I get home to get to my full collection. I mean, guys, I just started getting into sports card collecting, and it's super fun, super engaging for me. I very much enjoy it. I hope to expand it and actually turn that into a business on the side. Um, I was doing a lot of research into that too. At first, I thought I could just kind of jump right into it, get started, and work on it. But now I feel like there's a lot more to it, a lot more passion now of just being able to collect and then going from there. I like to go with the mindset of start as a collector and everything else will work out for this. Because I collect a lot of Star Wars stuff, a lot of sports cards, and just kind of want to get into that world because I eventually at the end of the day want to build businesses and build something that I can be proud of. And that's why I'm doing this podcast. It's part of the fun, right? This is going to be like a cool little progress report, hopefully in 2 years or a year when I look back on it, and I'm like, wow, on a records May 5th right now, Revenge of the Fifth for you Star Wars fans out there, like myself. I want to look back on it and I want to look and I want to go, wow. So on May 5th, 2026, you had 356 streams and downloads, 15 Spotify followers, and however many followers on Instagram, whatever, that doesn't matter. I just want to be able to prove to myself that I can work on something and do it. And I think everyone should be inspired to do things like this. Working and building your own thing is just so rewarding. And I think I got a lot of stress inside of me when I was starting to, I don't know, it was kind of like school's a lot of pressure. um, I feel a lot of pressure being a financial planning major. Not a lot of people, my parents own their own financial planning company, the Grant and Kerr Financial Group. You're welcome to go check them out. They're awesome. They do everything finance for me. I felt a lot of pressure to just always do good and be perfect at everything financial planning because that is what I wanted to do. I wanted to help my parents do that. I wanted to be a part of that. But recently, I found and I've learned for myself is that I don't need to be perfect at financial planning. I needed to be perfect at being me and working to my strengths. And to be honest, that's why I started a podcast. If a lot of you guys know me, a lot of people will talk to me and they'll go, "Why?" Like, okay, so let me set a scene for you. I'll be sitting there watching, say, the Pirates game, and half the time I'm sitting there. I say I'm watching it with my family or my girlfriend. I'll be sitting there and I will be basically commentating the whole game with the commentators. Like I would be sitting there talking about like, "Oh no, Chris, what are you doing? Why are you batting at it? Why are you striking out looking again? Why are you taking two strikes so early?" Just kind of like criticizing people when I like I know I have. I mean, I'm you know, it's just kind of what I do. It's just part of it. But that's just kind of who I am, and that commentating kind of wanted to turn that into something I can be passionate about. And then we got to the Kaicast, of course. My first episode being when all that stuff went down with Blueco, which is I love to talk about Chelsea. I'll definitely talk about more on upcoming podcasts. Haven't really got around to it, but that Pittsburgh sports identity and everything has just really kind of come out in me, and it's been a big part of me. Like it really has. And you kind of see that with like my collection and everything I do is Pittsburgh sports based, and I like to keep it all. I always talk about how I love Pittsburgh sports and how I love Chelsea, and that's just what I love. But I kind of got a little sidetracked there talking about Kai Collects. Kai Collects is awesome. It's a great channel. I'm trying to do more long form on it to build more of a base, but that's kind of hard to do when I am struggling with time management and figuring all that out. I also recently got asked to help with the place I work, social media, and kind of try and take over that full time because I've been doing this for myself. Of course, I've made a podcast for myself. I've talked about it. It's Fun for All. Fun for All is a arcade family fun park. I'm a manager there. I go in. I do a lot of just being a manager. Like I love like if you go into Fun for All, you'll see me. I'm friendly. I love kids. I love hanging out with people, and I love being fun. And that's what that place is all about. And it's so enjoyable for me to go in and talk to kids, talk to my friends, and talk to everyone, and just be able to show that no matter what, we can all have fun here, even if it's work. And I want to show that through the social media I did. I actually did a video of this guy sounds so silly. The first video I ever posted consistently when I started posting consistently May 1st, which going 6 days in, gets going tomorrow early to start recording stuff. But my point is, I went in and the first video I posted was of me doing the worm, dancing in the kitchen, to like when your favorite song comes on at work and you're having a bad day. And I just thought, this is just so me. This is just me being goofy, having fun. It's really part of the fun of it. Is just finding fun in the moments or places where you feel like you shouldn't have fun. And I mean, heck, it's enjoyable for me just doing all that. And thinking that this podcast and other things have really gotten me to where I am right now with that and being able to do that and being able to social media that. I think that's really cool, and I think I really enjoy it. It's really fun. I want to improve it, of course, when summer comes up. Of course, I'm in finals right now, which I probably should be studying for, but It's okay. Um, Honestly, I think I'll do fine on my finals. I think this to me is a lot more important than doing perfect on all my finals. I think this is more fun for me. This is enjoyable. This is just something cool. And this isn't just like, I don't just want to like hype myself up and be like, yeah, I did all this. I started a podcast, got this opportunity, I did this. I want to just kind of use this to like talk to people and talk them through it because I know it can be hard, like starting something from the ground up. Like your friends make fun of you, you think it's like embarrassing. You go on social media and it's just like whatever. Believe it or not, some of my friends are like some of the most supportive people I have about this podcast. Of course, they give me crap about it all the time, and I love them for it because I give them crap back. But it really is just something that people look at and they're just like, wow, that kid had the he could do that. He did that on his own. He's built it up. And I really encourage anyone out there to start their own thing. Honestly, I've been trying to get my girlfriend to do it forever. She loves doing those like get ready with me's and stuff. I think that's so awesome for her, and I have so much fun watching those videos of her. I like to see more of them from her, of course, because I think it's awesome. But it's just push yourself outside your comfort zones and enjoy it. Like enjoy what you're doing. If you're sitting at home and you're miserable, just not doing anything, scrolling reels, I definitely get more dopamine from sitting here talking to you guys on this podcast than I do sitting there scrolling reels. It's probably like I honestly, the more and more I scroll reels, the more and more I hate it. The more and more I'd rather be working on something meaningful like this and talking to you guys and trying to enjoy it and improving and being better. Um, but that's kind of what I'm thinking right now, off the top of my head. I think that's just something I want to talk to you guys about. And hopefully it hits some of you guys home, especially like you guys have been listening for a while. I really appreciate all of you. I know my girlfriend tells me every day how she loves listening to my podcast on her ride to work. And that just makes me so happy. And I'm thankful to have her in my life and have her around to do stuff like that. But if you guys are out there and you're struggling to like build something or you want to build something and you don't know how to do it, the best thing you can do is just start. And once you start, everything else becomes clear and easy. Not clear and easy, but it becomes a lot easier and a lot clearer and a lot more enjoyable for you. It makes it more fun. Um, I know for my mom, she was she started her own, or not started. I kind of started. She became the head of her own business. I mean, and she's doing awesome things, and I take a lot from her and just wanting to do that for myself as well. And I think that's something that a lot of people want to should strive to do is to do something for themselves. And curiously enough, I do have another Instagram account slash TikTok account that I do use. This one's a little bit more kind of like for fun. I use it kind of as like a case study just to see what works, what doesn't. It's called Off the HUD, and it's like siege clips, gaming clips of games I love to play. My initial thought behind that was if I'm gonna enjoy playing these games, I might as well post clips about them on TikTok, on Instagram, and see if they can do something for me. Um, right now, I'm kind of in the mindset of if I'm doing something, why can't I have it do like if I'm doing something that I enjoy doing, why can't I make that something that does something for me? If that makes sense. If I want to sit there and I want to enjoy watching the Pirates and I want to enjoy watching the Penguins and I want to enjoy watching Chelsea, I want to enjoy talking sports with you, I want to enjoy this. Why can't I make that work for me and what I love to do, what I'm passionate about, and find people just like me who want to be a part of that? That's kinda what I'm thinking in my head, and I think that'd be so cool. And I hope in 2 to 3 years when I look back at this and I look back at what's cool, but, like, what's going on in my life and what has evolved into, I hope to see that I'm still that same person who's still passionate about it. But I think that's all I have to talk about today, guys. I really appreciate you guys all for listening to my how I kinda got into this podcasting, where it's all going, and follow us on all our socials and our podcast. I really looking to build that follower count to have just kind of community. But thanks for listening, guys. I'll catch you next time.